You're like a virgin.
Yeah,
That's
no,
all.
like when I first started seriously meditating,
Yeah.
like it was years and years ago. Like I always started and stopped.
But it wasn't this lady.
No,
Okay.
it was just mindfulness,
Oh, okay,
mindfulness
right.
meditation. But like I remember like coming out of mindfulness meditation and feeling like super refreshed, feeling super like different after being done.
Yeah.
Like
I'll be
everything
right back,
like,
one second.
looking, feeling different after I was finished. But then like after years of kind of just doing that meditation, like losing that kind of like quality, and then like doing this meditation again, it felt like having that back of like you feel like you're taking like a spiritual bath or something.
That's true. I do like it. I haven't been doing the guided ones. I meant to do it, but I just haven't.
Mhm.
But I caught myself. It's like a habit now. It's like because I get not lost in thought, but I kind of just like almost forget like what's happening.
And you end up just sitting there kind of, right?
Not even that. It's like because like I don't mind the getting lost in thought because I'll explore it for a bit and then like I'll do the curl up and bring it back. You know how she was saying basically the same thing too. Like if a thought comes up, like just take that as an opportunity to come back to like square one basically.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that, but when she does it, it's like there's no natural end in the sense. It's like her like cutting into my thought, like, hey, like you should be doing this, which is like I should be doing that, you know. But yeah, it's just gonna take a little bit to get used to again. Because I was only doing the Sam Harris ones, like in the very beginning, you know. That's like the only ones I was really used to.
Yeah, those are good too.
That one's like too short though, yeah. It was like 8 minutes or something, or 10.
I think there's a longer, like more than 20-minute version of
Yeah.
it too. Yeah, but definitely I've been going all like using these like crazy lately. Like pretty much every night I've been meditating since like I finished the book. I've been using different guided meditations of hers.
I guess she has a few.
Wait, are you done with that book, Jeff?
No, not yet. Sorry. I'll speed through it.
I think. Never mind.
That book like really it changed my I don't know, it's like now I just feel more in tune with like channeling my awareness in different moments.
Mm.
And it's like when a bad thing is happening now, it's like a bad thing is almost like an interesting opportunity where it's like to experience like what is happening. Like when I get scared, like I start like paying very careful attention, like how's my body reacting, you know, and like noticing that. So it's like it's kind of cool because it's like I feel like I've honed my powers of awareness like through practicing this stuff and listening to her book. Do you have a coffee maker? You don't even have a coffee
No, I
maker.
just do instant coffee, which a lot of people think is an abomination.
Yeah, I'm in that camp.
But I think like
Which
this,
version do you use?
I have this one. I forgot what it's called, but I can show you later. Like it's really good. It's better than some regular coffees that you like brew.
Is this some Hispanic one?
Probably, yeah.
Because at work we have like 3 different Hispanic instant coffees,
They're
so
good?
I've had like different varieties. That one's like real good.
Yeah. Surprisingly, some of them are good. Yeah.
Maybe I'll have to just try it.
Yeah.
That's
Try
super
this
good.
one day. I
That's
like
just
your
your
coffee.
bias too, you know. It's just
Yeah.
like it's a different drink.
You're racist.
No, unconscious microaggression towards the coffee.
I've had like substitutes. They do this. I don't think it's that popular here, but like in the wartime, like coffee was like like a hot commodity.
Yeah.
So like the regular people would use like barley and wheat. They'd make like a weird substitute,
Yeah.
and then like that just became like its own thing. So it's like if you want a decaf, in the sense, it's like just drink this version of coffee instead, and it doesn't taste like coffee, but it tastes like coffee.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
then especially if you throw some milk in there,
Yeah.
it'll just like mask anything that's not like normal.
Yeah.
You're good to go. Yeah.
What do you throw in there?
Like milk.
Yeah.
Like if you a little splash of milk, just to like the big difference between
Yeah.
coffee with milk and without milk.
I like those creamers, those like vanilla creamers.
Oh yeah, those are good.
Those are really good. I think like that coffee with a little vanilla and a little bit of sugar comes out really good.
That's probably like what the guy at the restaurant's making.
Probably
Yeah.
not. Hell yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I think what it is too is like, yeah, I think maybe when I was drinking the instant, I think it was because I was drinking it like it was a real shitty brand. I think so. Maybe that's why it's like I just got used to having.
I mean, you're definitely better off with like a brewed coffee, like a really good brewed coffee. I think pretty much will always beat that good instant coffee.
Yeah, but
Right.
even getting a good brewed coffee, I mean, it's like
Yeah, that's hard.
my coffee maker. I don't know. It's like really hit or miss. Like sometimes it just doesn't taste that great.
Maybe it's just you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get like that bloating thing. Sometimes I'll feel like a stabbing kind of pain, like out of nowhere.
Like those real sharp gas pains.
I guess it's just like it's like if I swallowed like a Ninja Star and I never noticed, and one day like I moved wrong and all the organs just finally like slammed into it. It's kind of like that, and that lasts a while.
I'm sorry to laugh. But it's so funny.
No, it's fine.
Funny image.
Sometimes it's like you gotta fart and you can't, so it's like you ever played those games with the marbles and you're trying to get the marble in the hole and you're tilting like.
Yeah, you're
that
like
little-
doing that with a fart inside.
Yeah,
You're
it's
trying
like
to get it.
I'm trying to fucking like tilt the fart out my ass. It's like very annoying. And then
So-
there's like the danger of the fart because the fart can be more than it appears to be. You
Oh
know?
man.
You
It
said
just-
sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it just sounds like your whole deal is just like discombobulation from top to
Yeah.
bottom.
And what's worse too, it's not like a sexy disease. It's like
Yeah, I don't know if any disease is sexy though.
no, but it's like if I say I have cancer, it's like you already know cancer. Cancer's like a little sexy. You know?
You'll get like pity for it.
People pity you and they feel bad and they like. But if I say this and it's like, what's the symptoms like? Oh, well,
Right, because I guess it's more.
it's like doo-doo symptoms, not like the
Yeah.
classic I'm just dying and falling apart.
thank you.
You know?
It's more gross.
Yeah, so it's like I don't even want to talk about it. It's like,
Yeah. I feel like I'm the only sick person asking like intricate details.
Yeah. I hope you don't mind.
No, I don't care at all. You know, you guys like I'll talk to you about it. I don't mind talking to people about it, but it's just like
You're not proud.
it's not even proud. It's just like
A weird topic.
yeah, and it's you know, who am I gonna talk to about it? It's like,
Yeah.
my friends I don't mind, but it's like at work, it's like I don't really want like I mentioned it for a long time, and then it just like they don't know like what's up exactly.
So you said you went to the doctor and now you're worse?
yeah, so it's like you know you got like your gut whatever that
Yeah.
thing is.
Intestine.
Yeah.
You're
And then like the shit I'm taking, so like the top bit is like good. It's like better than it has been, you know. But it's like near the end, like the medicine doesn't like keep like it loses its like strength along the way. It doesn't reach all the way to the end. It's like my asshole and up, you know, for a bit is like really fucked up and like inflamed and like all this shit. So yeah, so they wanted to give me like a suppository and an enema, which is like
Right.
it's like, oh man, it's like this. I like, can't just fucking go to chemotherapy or something. I gotta like stick something in my ass every night.
So you're gonna do that?
I mean,
It sounds like a good idea.
I've done it before already,
Yeah.
like a thing like that,
Yeah.
but it didn't work out, and I was
Oh.
like, and it was also humiliating. I felt,
Right.
you know, I don't have anything against ass play. I just have something against it when I'm doing it to myself or someone else is doing it to me. I guess.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. And it's not like a playful. or
That's
fun
my
thing.
You
that's
have to
my
get-
self philosophy. You can do whatever you want with your
That
asshole.
conversation.
But it's like I don't want to do that. It's like my body, my rules. You know,
Yeah.
no means no.
So is it? So is there any? So you're not gonna do it?
I wouldn't mind doing it, but the medication is like $2,400 a month.
Oh shit!
So that at the time of me finding that out, that's like all my money basically
Right.
that I make. Which this like puts me back to like whatever 8 years ago or whatever when I moved in with John, and then I was like finally diagnosed and got the medication. My medication was like pretty much the exact amount of money I made every month, and I was like, all right,
It's that expensive?
yeah.
The insurance doesn't cover it?
At the time, though, so I quit ShopRite to lose my insurance and move back home to fall under like my dad's insurance, and that covered it, and that was like $60 for 3 months
Okay.
versus $900.
And what about
for 1
now?
month.
Do you have it covered now?
Yeah, so now I pay like 40 or
So why
60
can't you
for-
get this more expensive medicine? Because that one isn't covered?
It's yeah. So when I did my insurance, I made sure like those two things, or like the medication I needed
Oh,
was
I
like
see.
selected.
I
It's like
see.
I had no idea about this medication,
Oh, okay. But
so
is it,
this is completely out of like the policy.
has it? Can you like reverse? You said like there's no cure for that, right?
No,
So it'll
it's
only-
chronic. so
It'll
it's
only
just,
get
like-
worse, or it'll maintain bad.
I mean, you can like curb it, but it's not gonna like go away. I guess it's like hair. It's like you can pluck it out, but it's gonna like keep growing. You just gotta
But don't you?
keep plucking.
So what are you gonna do? Don't you risk having like maybe like serious damage if you don't do it?
I mean, yeah, probably, but it's like I'm trying to. it was kind of like bad news, to hear.
Yeah.
I mean, not everything's done yet. They send out stuff for like biopsy and whatever, so I gotta wait back on that. But yeah, medication's expensive. So what I'm trying to do is, apparently there's no generic version.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to find a way around that. And then I hit my mom up because my doctor mentioned that some patients go to like Brazil and they'll buy like the medication there and bring it back. So I was like, yo, can you check out this medication and see like if you can get it there? So I talked to her for a bit. And she talked to the doctor. She said, like, send them like what it is, and he can prescribe it. And then if that isn't cheap, I told Flavio like the same thing yesterday because we were talking for a while. And then he's going to Brazil next week, so that's my plan B. I'm like, if you see that medication out there, like, bring me back as much as you can, and I'll pay you like whatever it is. So that's my 2 plans right now. And then like my mom and Flavio, see if they could get cheaper medication.
Yeah.
And then that can hold me over, and then I forget when the renewal period is, so I'll just choose a different insurance that hopefully covers that. And then, I'll be okay after that, or at least I'll have it covered. Or if I could somehow find a generic, then I'll just go to that. But if I could just hold out for like, I forget when it is, if it's November or I think it's January kicks in now. But then like my coworkers tell me some of the rules have changed, but I was like, I don't know if I trust you. It's like, you don't really know what you're talking about.
You have your own insurance that you buy, right?
Yeah. So I bought it through like the marketplace thing.
Yeah.
The marketplace actually, like, I kind of like the way they changed the layout and stuff, so it was actually like not a horrible experience compared to like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I had it for a while. It wasn't not a good experience.
Yeah, but now you have like a job.
Yeah.
But so I'll just renew and see if I could get something better for January. So it's not that far away. It's only 2 months.
It's funny how, like, I don't know, there's price increases, but they never really say, like, they never give you details as to why, like, this has increased in price, but like you just have to accept the higher price. It's like some vague like statement.
Due to us wanting more money, we decided to increase the price. Nobody won't be paying you more. Oh yeah, but then also like I got those bad news and I was like kind of bummed out, obviously.
Yeah, that sucks.
But then I didn't get bummed out, and I was like, all right, what am I gonna do about it?
Yeah.
So I hatched those plans, and I was just like, I'm waiting. It's like I'm just trying to, I guess, fix every other aspect of my life. I'm like, well, I'm at least like line up all my, be like a super control, you know what I mean? Like have no other like negative influences, like whatever else I'm doing. So try to kind of help out in every other way.
I guess if they get you pills and then you can buy your own pills the coming year, you probably will be okay, right?
Yeah, or at least it'll, remedy it a bit.
And now, I mean, like I said, it does sound like you really thought it out, like, well, and looked at every angle and like covered your bases, I think, in the most like positive, effective manner a person could do. So I think
there's nothing else I could do, too. Yeah. What am I to like worry about it? It's like I already knew I had this, and it's not like
No, I think it's very impressive and admirable that you handle it like that.
I am very impressive.
I figured you've done this already, and I think I told Ian, but have you tried looking for cures for that in other countries? Or like any research into that?
There's always like a cure, you know what I mean?
Right.
But it's like there never is. There's people have like different methods for it, and it's
nothing has been proven to be a cure.
It's like, those nutrition guys that were on that Joe Rogan podcast and how they all have like different like philosophies and all that shit. Mm-hmm. And that's because like everybody's body reacts like differently to everything. Yeah. So I almost don't think what I have and what everyone has under that name is necessarily the same thing.
I see what you mean.
That's my theory. I think it's all like individual kind of like circumstances that lead to like the same like kind of result, Right. It's like, how did you like get this? It's like, well, I built it this way. Well, I built it this way, but it's like we both have cars, you know what I mean? It's like yours is a motorcycle. You're calling it the wheeled machines, but they're different kind of wheeled machines. That's a wagon, that's like a tricycle, They got wheels, but it's not the same thing.
So let me ask this, right? Because from what I've heard from you in the past, it's like what causes the symptoms to arise in terms of like diet and like trigger conditions varies like a lot among everybody who's like dealing with these issues, right?
Yeah, but that's like for triggers, not like what causes it, because they don't know like
why these problems emerge in the first place.
Yeah.
So but those like triggers that set it off, right?
Yeah, it's different for everyone, and it's a moving target too. So it's like you could be good with broccoli, and then it's like, nah, change your plans, buddy. And it's like, nah, you're not cool with broccoli, but now you can eat olives. And it's like, all right. It's like, thanks for the heads up.
Yeah, maybe you need some weird special diet.
Yeah, but
Only
it's
nuts and
so
seeds.
it's so hard because it's to like pinpoint it, and it's like I haven't like gone super hardcore with the logging and stuff because it's so impossible to like pinpoint what did what,
Yeah.
because if you eat something now, you won't necessarily get the reaction now. You might get it like 10 hours from now.
Really?
Yeah. So it's like what did what, So it's just like exhausting.
Yeah, you would need like a bunch of professionals to like pay close attention to you. That'd be cool if you were.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I wish I could get that kind of medical care where like they go in hard,
Yeah, we get like a special team.
Stool sample.
Like,
Every time you take a shit, someone analyzes it.
Yeah, and then they pay you at the end too. And then a hot
Yeah.
scientist, she's like, "That looks like you're doing a little bit." It always ends like that.
That's the premium package from the marketplace.
I'm sure some people
Make
have
that
that.
chronic disease worth it,
There's probably some people who have that. I'm sure there is.
But you can go into like remission, which is basically you have like no symptoms, but the thing is like still there.
They're still inflamed.
It could like no, it's like you could get it to like a good level,
Okay.
where it's like normal,
Okay.
but it can still like be triggered eventually if you fly off path, kind of thing.
Right.
It's basically like herpes. Like you'll always have herpes, but then like I guess herpes is a little bit different, but it's like if you're not careful, like you can trigger the herpes back.
Yeah.
Whatever triggers herpes, I don't even know, man. It's different though.
So how many years has it been since your diagnosis?
I forget. I always think it's like 4 years, but it's been like, I don't know. Let's see. Quick maths. 2009. Oh man, almost like 10 years. That's crazy.
But
It's like 9 years, but I had it diagnosed like 8 years ago. Yeah.
So in your teen years, you didn't have that problem.
No, I didn't have it at all. It was like after like college. It was like a stress. I wonder too, because it was like very stressful. And then I wonder if that stress like triggered like it a lot more and like made it worse.
Yeah.
Because like that's another thing. It's like if I feel like stress, like I'll like start feeling symptoms of it too. It just like triggers like it's like a domino effect. So it's like I'm trying not to stress that.
Yeah, that's good.
That's like one of my main goals. Just to like not actively, make anything like upset it.
Yeah, I've thought about that. How like we add so much extra stress to things for like no good reason.
Dramatic effect.
Yeah, but then it's like the more you can let go of that, like the better, I guess. But it's hard to realize how much you're doing it. I think you're probably adding so much more extra pain to things.
Yeah.
But it's hard not to do that. But it's hard to be aware of like the amount you're doing.
I think you're really going to enjoy the Tara Brach book then, because I feel like the Tara Brach book really like addresses that.
Yeah.
In a certain way, and like, one thing that's interesting about that book is again like she's also like a psychotherapist. She's a counselor, so she's got like this like crazy cool connection between like the psyche and the body, and how like the two are kind of overlapped, and like kind of through that idea of like the bodily experience as a response to like an external stimuli, being like really aware of that. I feel like it opens it up more.
Aware of what exactly?
Of like how your body is responding physiologically to
yeah.
things that are happening to you.
Yeah.
And not in terms of like, so how emotional things affect your physiology. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
And so paying close attention to that response, and like kind of one of her main arguments, and Jeff, you could correct me if I'm wrong, is that she says when we experience like certain traumas or other negative emotional experience, it's like we kind of tighten up, and like the tightening that happens like as a negative, as like a kind of defense mechanism against like the negative emotion, causes that kind of emotion to get like locked into your being.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that before.
Yeah, it's a cool concept.
Yeah.
And that, like, when you properly, like, sit with the feeling, then it can kind of, like, dissipate properly. And so it's like the emotional process of processing extreme emotion is like letting it go, like, through. You know, it's like it's a wave that has to pass.
Yeah.
But it's like as you tighten, it's like the wave reverberates, I guess is a way of thinking about it. Like,
yeah.
and then you get caught in that feedback.
I like that idea. Yeah.
She doesn't put it that way. That was kind of my own interpretation about the wave thing. But I think that's maybe what,
That's
like,
pretty good. Got a good visual out of it.
Yeah.
So that was props. That's for the brain ingredient.
but yeah. So, but she has a chronic
Yeah, she mentioned it too, but
issue too.
I felt like she didn't explain exactly what it was. I don't know if she ever really goes into it.
Yeah, she doesn't. She brings it up later.
She likes scabies.
She brings it up like a couple times.
She's like, I have ingrown tongue disease. My tongue now just keeps getting ingrown.
Sorry, I'm like fanning like hardcore on Tara Brock lately, but
Are you still doing her guided meditations all the time?
I was telling Jeff, yeah, I'm like solely doing the
He's a hardcore
Tara Brock fan.
Brockhead.
I think it's just like,
Broccoli sprout.
yeah, she's just a good teacher, I think.
Did you guys? Wow. Have you? Is there any? Oh yeah, the Joe Rogan special. I didn't like it that much.
I still didn't see
Did
it.
you see it?
No.
I don't know. I feel like he was yelling too much.
I didn't like his comedy that much when I saw his other things, so I'm not like jumping to like, oh, let me go see that Joe Rogan thing.
Yeah, I feel like he's been getting better, honestly, over the years. Like, every special has been... it still hasn't been great, but it's, like, nice to see him, like, get better.
I like the last two specials more than this one. I thought the last two were good,
Yeah.
but this one,
I liked a lot of parts, but yeah, I don't like that, like, screaming thing, you know?
too much yelling.
Well, I think, you know, he always talks about Sam Kinison.
Yeah, maybe
So,
that's why.
yeah, it's probably like one of his idols, and he likes that style of comedy.
Yeah, it was a big mistake.
It might be different live, too. It's
Yeah,
like, we
worse.
sit back on the, TV screen and look at it, but maybe live there's, like, a different... Because people have been going to see him for a while, so maybe the energy definitely has to do something with it, too, you know?
Mm.
Where I never, like, thought he was that great, you know?
I just
his
feel.
earlier specials, I don't know if you ever watched them, but they're like, I think they're like terrible, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've seen some clips that I think are horrible. Yeah.
It's like, oh, man.
It's like interesting facts like being yelled at you in some bizarre way.
Yeah.
I wonder if his psychedelic experiences have influenced his comedy at all.
Probably, yeah.
In terms of his, like, delivery.
I don't know. It's because I felt like earlier in the special, like some stuff was funny, but because he's yelling, I feel like it ruined it.
That's your anti-yelling bias.
Yeah. I feel like a little yelling can make sense here and there, but it was like prolonged yelling. Like, why are you yelling at
Yeah, it
me?
loses the dynamic of
You
like,
should-
the yell.
You should take, like, his whole act and, like, do, like, Siri or, like, OK Google, just, like, text-to-speech the whole act and then have it, like, read back by, like, one of those robot voice things. And be told in a completely different way.
It's like, is this still fun?
The second half I thought was better, but it was hard to like. I felt like it was hard to watch at times. Like I had to stop watching it and then finish it.
I don't know. Sometimes I didn't have that much trouble. I still like enjoyed it. Maybe I'm just easy to please too.
You should watch it and see what you think. But it wasn't horrible.
Yeah.
But it was just too much yelling.
How long is it?
An hour.
An hour? I think I could find an hour to watch. Maybe I'll listen to it when I start working. Instead of listening to the Joe Rogan podcast, I'll just put the special on.
Yeah, I don't think you need to look at them really.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could peek over if there's like any visual necessity that you feel you're missing out on.
His shirt was really ironed like perfectly. In the
Yeah,
special.
it makes you feel weird. You know what I
It
mean?
was like a little too perfect. I was like, wow, doesn't have like a single tiny wrinkle.
His body looks like strange. You know.
Yeah.
And what's weird is
He looks like a professional bowler.
It's weird too because I've seen him like more scantily clad in a way, and it's
Okay.
like he doesn't have like that weird of a body,
Right.
but like the way he dresses makes him seem like
Yeah, that's
this like
true.
weird stiff person. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because like he does that one bit where he kind of like sucks his dick or whatever.
Oh, yeah,
you know what
yeah,
I'm talking
yeah.
about. And
Yeah.
he puts like his legs like
Yeah.
all the way back, so it's like he's like flexible, but it's like he looks like stiff in that clothes. It's like such a weird like impression.
Yeah. He is very like rigid. Yeah.
He has made fun of himself. Like I forget who it was that was just on, and he was like talking about the guy who makes him suits, and he was singing his praises and saying it's like for people like me who are built like a fucking troll. I think maybe he's like aware of his own like physiological like hindrances.
It's like he's trying to be in perfect posture all the time, kind of, which is good, I guess.
Yeah. I was like slumped in this couch. I was thinking about sitting when I was meditating before.
Yeah.
And I was like, because I was leaning back against the couch and I was feeling like a stress kind of. And I was like, and then she said some shit and I was like, let me fucking sit. Like, that's, let me put like, there's gotta be, like, sitting isn't like there's effort in sitting. It's not just a stationary. Like, we think of sit and like, we think of like couches that like support us and stuff like that. But like, sitting is like an act as well. And it's like, you gotta like practice sitting. Because I was thinking about also how, they would do yoga to like, basically, like prepare themselves for sitting, in the sense like exercise for.
Oh yeah.
And it's like just so they can like sit down longer, It's like
monks?
Yeah, so they can like sit and meditate and shit.
Mm.
So they did yoga to like prepare their bodies like for long rounds of like sitting. So I was like, I stood up. I was having dinner. I went to Okalamari, by the way.
Well, how was it?
It was pretty good. I felt like I kind of copped out, but I got the like lomo saltado.
Yeah, everybody gets
with the egg and shit. It was pretty good. If I go there again, I'll get something else. But it's like I feel if I go to a restaurant, I kind of gotta start with the baseline of what I know and kind of judge it based on that.
Did you take a girl there?
Yeah, I went with Susie, but it was just like
like
I was like, yeah.
I don't know who Susie is, but okay.
But yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it.
That's good. Were people singing?
No,
that's
she
good.
told me that too. She's like there might be karaoke tonight.
I mean, some of them are actually good. Some of them are actually good. It's just like too loud, and I'm not really the biggest fan of that music.
Yeah. Right. I think it's still too early. It was early in the night.
It's like a very melancholic, like 45-year-old singing.
That shit is some pretty sad music.
There's some cool music in that area, but yeah, that's not my favorite overall. Like, I don't want to listen to blasting music while I'm eating.
Yeah, that's annoying, man.
Yeah.
Like, if I can't talk.
I feel like the I don't know. I never understood the volume in bars or like the volume that bands play in bars is like, I don't know. It's too loud. Like, it would be much more enjoyable a little bit lower. It can be loud, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's like
Maybe that's an old person mentality.
because I think if you're up and moving around a lot, then like loud is better. I think it's like the volume level should match
The activity.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you're sitting down talking. Yeah, it's like you want to have music that goes with the energy of that. Like nice.
Yeah, if you're moving your body around, you want something like that you can feel against your body.
I guess I don't want that kind of energy, I guess.
Yeah, and then that's why it would be a pain in the ass.
Sometimes maybe, but almost never.
I'm not really. When I was younger, maybe that goes back to the old man thing. Like I was more about that. But now, I don't know. Like I feel like I could move a lot, but like the self-consciousness of like dancing.
Yeah.
Like I'm very self-conscious about it, so I can't like
Just radically accept.
yeah my moves. I would have to put like a blindfold on.
Extreme ownership of the boogie.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, and again, like when I can like do that, I
Feel good.
feel good, and I feel like
I knew that you would.
Yeah, and it's just like I don't know. It's
But
just,
you were pushing people. Remember in that bar? You were like pushing people. You were like in a mosh pit, like pushing people around.
yeah.
And like,
That's some
you
sort of
jumped
dance.
over that dude too.
Oh yeah, that was
fun.
Yeah, I was able to let go like at that point. I don't know
That
what
was crazy.
Yeah.
That was those buzzer pills.
I forgot. Yeah, I was on a bunch of that shit.
You guys start taking the boner pills?
Yeah, I took them all. There we go.
The boner pills.
That's crazy. I forgot you were there for that, and I was. Yeah, I guess I was just totally amped up.
They closed that place, right?
No, it's still open.
Oh, it is? I thought they were going to close it.
They were, but I don't know when that's gonna happen. I
like-
thought it was about to happen like right about now,
Yeah.
but they're
Maybe
having
it was-
like Scalloween, So I guess like it's still something.
Farewell tour.
Who's that? I don't know who that is.
Ska? No, I guess they're having like a ska night on Halloween. Like a bunch of ska bands are playing.
Oh,
so
Ska Night.
So they're calling it Skalloween.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Scott.
I wonder if people will go to that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how hot ska is. I just think it's because the soundboard guy is really into ska.
Yeah, it's
Remember
like
he
my
complimented my strap?
Oh yeah,
I
that's
think he
great.
thought I was into ska, but I'm just into checkers, checkerboard patterns.
I told a student about ska the other day because he had like a checker pattern. I was like, yeah, it's good. Ska, blah, blah, blah. Like ska is this music with like, it's really happy. It's got a bunch of horns. So the kid was like, looked at me like I was crazy. I was like, ah, never mind.
Ska's just fast reggae.
Yeah,
I think
so.
reggae came after ska though. When I found that shit out, I was like, that's when you found out like the dog came before the chicken and the egg and gave birth to the chicken and the egg. It's like, what the fuck?
It is surprising, right? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
that's right. It has to be true because it sounds shocking and I was shocked. So it's like, this feels like it's the truth. Feel free to Google it.
So yeah, I don't know about that Joe Rogan special.
Or ska
Did
music.
you give it a thumbs down?
You can't do that anymore.
Oh, what can you do?
Nothing on Netflix. You can't. There's no reviews anymore.
You can't talk shit on it. Damn,
Yeah,
that's,
that sucks.
that's so whack. I miss like
Fucking shit.
now they just have like compatibility ratings.
It's because of Amy Schumer.
Yeah.
That's what I heard at least.
Oh, really?
No, that's false. It just happened to happen at the same time.
Well, she's somebody who peddles that, like,
Could
oh,
have
let's
been
be
an
all be nice
influencing
to each
factor.
other.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I guess they could, but
Not in comedy. Comedy, I feel like you just say anything.
You can't.
it's like, what do you find
Well,
funny
not according to
too?
her.
You know, it's like, what if you find Carlos Mencia funny?
Yeah, that's fine.
And it's like that has 5 stars now, but it's like I know it's not 5 stars to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess I kind of understand what their weird algorithm thing that they're doing,
Mm-hmm.
but
But I want to see
I'm
people's
still not
opinions,
down
you
for
know?
yeah, at least that like.
But then, like,
I always read the 1-star Amazon reviews.
Me too.
Me too.
Those tell the truth.
It's always some of this is some nonsense, but sometimes it's true, yeah.
Usually it's like the reviewer who's a 1-star person. So,
Yeah.
it's like you get found immediately. It's like, alright, this is a good product. You're just like a complete idiot.
So like, yeah, it'll start with like, I didn't actually get the product, but then it's complaining about the shipping. I'm like,
Yeah, it's like the box came damaged. It's like, alright, blame UPS, bro.
I don't know.
But I think there's a venue for, like, the kind of culture and attitude, like, you're interested in. But I think because of Netflix being what it is, like, it's concerned with its user base, you know, and what its user base thinks. So,
You can watch on Amazon Prime. They still have reviews.
Yeah.
You know?
yeah, they have, like, the whole
That's-
Metacritic.
Yeah. Some of those reviews on there just like make me laugh. And it's
Yeah.
like the bad reviews sometimes make me want to watch the movie. It's like, oh my god, it can't be.
Yeah.
That's true. Sometimes, like, I read a bad review for something and it made me intrigued. Because, like, it sounded like a good product to me.
Yeah, like their bad product. It sounds like a good product.
And then people were hating, and I was like, well, I should look at it then, you know. Because if it's divisive, I feel like there's maybe something to it.
Yeah.
Not always. Sometimes things are just, like, foolishly divisive, but a lot of times, like, it means there's a controversy.
Yeah.
Which
it's
is
but
interesting.
Why? You're a curious cat.
But nothing I would stake money on without doing the research first.
I remember reading GameSpot reviews for video games.
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever read those?
Oh, of course.
Were you
still
talking
have
about the
my answer.
magazines, or are you talking about? Like,
Yeah, either way, right?
Yeah, online or the magazine.
Yeah, I used to read them. They used to crack me up. I used to read a lot of gaming magazines.
Same. I used to have a subscription.
Nice, dude. You had a fucking subscription.
Yeah, that's right.
I always dreamed of the subscription.
With a demo CD. Or whatever they
I
give.
don't think they, at that time, I don't think
That was a
was
different
used as
subscription.
Oh, okay.
That shit was cool. I remember like seeing demo series. I'm like, oh man,
Yeah.
now I just need a PlayStation.
I remember when they got a PlayStation, I was so happy.
Yeah, me too.
The PlayStation is so cool. That was like the coolest system, probably.
It was pretty awesome.
It felt like something completely different at the time.
Yeah, it was such a big part of my life, PlayStation.
Yeah, I probably put like 1 million hours on PlayStation.
So much wasted potential.
I think about that too. I'm like, damn.
I don't know. I'm okay
But
with
wasn't it worth it? In the sense,
Maybe.
like what else would we been doing? You know what I mean?
I don't know, like playing an instrument, learning proper like ear training.
It's easy to say now.
Yeah, it is. Because you're right though. Like that's the thing about like kids. Like when I teach them, it's like
They're stupid. Yeah.
I wanna show them. Be like, look, if you start now, if you like just have the discipline. But it's like I think the last thing young people want is discipline. They just want to like take it easy. They don't want to like put in hard work. But as an older person, like you come to value like hard work, and you understand like how your effort will be returned to you in time.
I'm starting to think the hard way is the easy way.
Can you elaborate on that?
What's there to elaborate, man? It's pretty like boom, you know. Just drop that mic back. It's like if you take the easy route all the time, I feel like you're not gonna necessarily get like farther or like the end goal you might not never reach necessarily whatever like higher point. Or if you take the harder route in a sense, not like you do difficult things for the sake of being difficult, but that you put in like your suffering hours to like get to like whatever goal. It'll just, wind up being better. Like, it's hard to exercise, and go out every day, and it's like you can argue it's like I'm not going to exercise. I don't want to damage my knees running and like pull my whatever hamstring or like hurt myself injuring, so I'm going to be in pristine shape and just sit on this couch and just like wait until like my moment. That's like the easy route, but it's like your body's also degenerating because you're not going hard at it, you're not like keeping up this like figure, but you are going easy, you know what I mean, but you're turning soft into like human puddle thing.
Do you think that happens not just in a physical sense, but maybe in some like
I'm talking about every sense. This is just like the most easily translatable, I think. Way I can describe it.
It's all a mental problem.
You think so?
I feel that's no way.
Aren't all problems mental problems?
It's just so weird. Kind of what we were talking about before, how you might not be aware of how much you're doing something. It's the same thing could be with like the things that you believe. You could like be walking there and think, oh, this is how life is. You think like you just settle for that or something. Mm-hmm. But really, like if you just had heard one other thing, you would think about life differently or something. Like you can like be confused in those ways and not know you're confused. It's just crazy though.
Mm.
Yeah, it's like that's how I feel. Yeah, that's like almost like a free will kind of thing. Like you don't have it because let's say you get launched off as like in birth, right? And then you hit an event, and depending on how that event is angled, you'll bounce off it differently. And then eventually you'll bounce to this event and that event and that event.
Yeah.
And it's like those are very, you might think, oh, this happened to me, so now I'm thinking a certain way. But if you like stand back and look at it from above, you just see it's like this very obvious trajectory. You're just hitting these things and like going this way. It's like either this because this happened to you, either this because of these things that happened, and because these things happen, either this and obviously it's like so much of that because we live long lives and a lot of things happen to us like over and over and over, and we just kind of like pile it together. But yeah, it's just like if something else had happened in your life, it would have bounced you a different way earlier on, and then like 20 years down the line, you could be like thousands of miles apart in like differences.
Yeah, there's all that. Was it? Yeah.
So that's like, I love that visual. I really love that visual. And that's like a kind of 3-dimensional metaphor or a 2-dimensional metaphor, right? If we look at it like visually.
Yeah, that's how it was like. Almost like pinball.
Yeah. But like, what is the true dimensional number of like the way we experience it?
What do you mean?
Because it's like those events don't occur in a 3D space.
It's like a 4D space.
Do you think?
Maybe even 5D.
Like how many D? That's what I want to know. Is that space like what is the shape of that space that like? Because like what is that really? That's like emotional like instances, right? Like something happens and there's an emotion attached to it.
Yeah. Well, there's the 3D thing. I guess you could say there's the visual. Like every sense that you can get like would be a thing to add thinking on top of it.
I think we could factor those out, actually.
Yeah?
I think, like,
You don't think an audio? I guess it all goes to mental at the end.
it's all about the emotional response. So it's like, the dimension is, firstly, it's like your vector.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, your, I guess, the vector and then the emotional state. And it's like, when you're traveling, like, you have those. And so that's 2. And I don't know if I could, like, figure out the, like, quality of them. But then there's, like, the object, which is, like, the thing you encounter.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that is, like, the instant of the encounter.
I don't know if that counts as another dimension, though.
It has to.
Doesn't exist in the same dimension, or else you wouldn't hit it.
That'd be really ran with this.
Like, can we touch 4D objects?
I get what you're saying, right? Because it's like, you have a vector. Oh, yeah. So maybe, like, okay.
It shouldn't matter.
Yeah, you're right. Because, like, you're right. The vector is your location in space.
Mm-hmm.
And for your vector to deflect off something, like, it has to meet an
It has to
occupied
exist
location in
the same
space.
Yeah. There has to be a collision.
Right. If they were in different dimensions, they would never meet and touch.
Yeah.
So then it's like, okay, that's good. So that's really 2.
That keeps it easy.
And then I guess it's like then it just becomes like physics. And it's just like classical physics at that point.
Yeah, depending on the shape of the object that you hit, you'll bounce differently. Like Pong, different parts of the paddle will bounce differently.
But what is the shape? Like, what is the surface?
Depends on whatever the instance is.
And, like, what is your, like, size and shape compared to that? It's like, I guess it varies.
That's
right?
all relative,
Yeah. Do you think there's enough variety, like, in these dimensions that have, like, different size objects? I guess there could be infinitely many, right? Just like in the normal world.
Well, it's just a metaphor.
Yeah. But it happens for real, though. It's not just a metaphor.
No, it is.
Because it happens for real,
But that's just like the mini-map, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You
it's
look
like
at the
that game
mini-map,
where you
it's
spin
like,
around and shoot.
Don't get too distracted with the mini-map, That's just the, like, location of what's happening.
But I don't want the mini-map. I want, like, the rendering.
This is the rendering. What the fuck you mean?
Like, a true rendering.
It's life. Life is, like, it's rendering IRL, like, 24/7.
But we can't, like... We see that from the, like, viewport of our, like, vectored craft.
There's no way to, like, see it, though. Unless you just, like, write shit down and then make, like, a mental model. But you can't literally
that's what we're doing.
see it.
But, yeah, but, like... I want to see it like we're talking about seeing it. Like, the
Better
way
paint
that
shit.
Like the way that you would see it under a microscope.
I'll give you some mushrooms.
Yeah.
Then you can maybe see it.
I would love to paint it.
You got any ideas?
Yeah, I do.
There you go.
It just looks like a big like field of like objects and like spaceships and asteroids, and everything is just like it's just like a huge like scatter shot. And like as you look at every object, like it has like a different trajectory and it's headed for something else and everything. It's a frozen image of that, like all of it just like jumbled up, like in a sort of cloud distribution.
Yeah, being alive is really bizarre.
Yeah. What's the deal with that? You guys hungry?
You want to go?
Yeah. I don't know how hungry you're. Like, we can keep talking, but yeah, I was just throwing that out there.
Maybe like 5 minutes?
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
5 minutes is pretty good.
5 to 6 minutes. How has school been? Horrible.
Interesting.
Okay.
It's been different. Could be better. It's like my attitude is roughly the same, even though a lot of conditions have changed.
I thought things were better this year. This is what you told me like a week ago.
Yeah.
Things
But now,
changed.
like, I'm settling in more.
Mm.
Everyone's settling in more.
Right.
So it's like,
honeymoon period's over.
yeah, that's exactly what the principal said too. And so now I'm just again, like coming to, I don't know, maybe there's like a natural like process of like initial enthusiasm, then like point of realization, then like a sort of like bartering, averaging out the difference, and then like a home stretch. Like I feel like that's like the kind of pathway I take through every academic year. And yeah, it's like the enthusiasm that comes at the beginning seems unsustainable by this point in the year.
Yeah.
And then it's like, because like things are coming apart now, there's like the vision slips from the ideal into like firefighting on a like more like ground level, you know? So it's like out of the clouds, like onto the battlefield. And then in that process, like, which is kind of more stressful, then it's like resolves to some sort of homeostasis, or I guess it could continue to decline in anarchy, maybe get better, but what seems to be the tendency is like you lock in at a certain spot and ride that out till the end of the year.
So it gets increasingly worse until you barely survive, and then it ends.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, like, I guess that seems to be pretty much it.
Yeah.
And I mean that, like, in the truest sense, where
Yeah,
it's like the quality of, like, the educational experience, like, takes that trajectory.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think I'm also not a good teacher, like, for one. Like, in the like, I'll say I'm not a good public school teacher.
Maybe you need the teacher.
What's that?
Maybe you need the teacher.
Yeah, right.
Perhaps a golden one.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like, it is better, because now it's like I have a group of really hardworking, really motivated kids. So this is a group like I feel like I can really work with. Then I also have a group of...
But you still hate them.
Not this group. This group is good. So I have them. Then I have a group of... A very small group of like odd misfits that don't belong anywhere. But like they ended up in one class. But it's a very small class.
Are they annoying?
And they're all good. They're all like...
Okay.
What's the word?
Defeated.
Yeah. That's right. They're submissive and compliant. And then I have one big group of crazy kids. This is like fucking, like, all different levels and abilities and personalities. And then I have a group of kids that I think I keep the class really fun for them.
Right.
And so they're sticking with me. And like, there are some assholes in that group.
Yeah.
But in general, like, people are sincerely interested in doing the activities that we do, because it's all about taking pictures on your phone. And the kids feel like have a lot of fun doing that. And I give them like lights to play with and take them places. And because it's been fun like that, I think...
That's cool. You take them places?
Well, like, I wanted to take them out to shoot photos. So it's like, we get out of the classroom to go do
And
stuff.
they're all using their phones?
Yeah.
Or it's like the school provided phones?
No, they just use their own.
Okay.
You know, so I just have them all like take out their phones. And
So you did that?
What's that?
You did that?
Yeah.
That's cool.
And then like the lighting stuff and setting them up with shit.
That sounds like a good teacher.
Yeah. So that's pretty fun. And I've gotten good
So that's cool too, because photography is one thing, but it's like these are inner city kids. So it's like they don't have like, you know, like a nice, you know, or Fiesta or whatever the fuck they're called.
Yeah, but they're not using that. They're just using... But I give
That's
them...
what I'm saying. They don't have that, but they do have their phones. So you're teaching them to use a tool they do have, which is way more useful than teaching them a tool they don't
Yeah,
have. You know?
absolutely. Absolutely. I think they like it because of that.
Yeah.
So they're hanging with me. You know, it's like... It's a pretty good deal. So... And then there's the social justice class, which is like it's a thorn in my side, really.
What's wrong with it?
It's too big.
The
It's
kids
just-
are bad?
Yeah, there's some like really bad kids, and I think like there's an issue with maturity level, because there's a group of kids that are like really immature, and there's a group of kids that are like over mature, like kids that are more like can talk about the issues, they feel strongly about the issues, and they have a sense of discussion that goes beyond like being loud. Whereas like the boys, basically, there's like the majority of the boys, like they're not like with it, like they're not engaged in like this so much, you know.
It's toxic masculinity.
Yeah, it must be, you know. They would be better off, like, I hate to say this, but I don't, because it's so fucking true. It's like, they'd be better off just playing, like, sports for the time than, like, sitting in my room and listening to it. It's kind of interesting, and it's like, there are moments where people feel passionately about, but it's just, like, my natural kind of, like, aversion to the material, the fact that, like, I don't want to make the lessons, so I'm just using other people's material. Like, I don't like, because it's like, you know, it's like, I'm really phoning it in. You know, it's not like, I try to be as enthusiastic as possible for, like, the benefit of the way everything goes for everybody, but it's just like, it's not something I would enjoy doing, you know.
Are there, like, stereotypical social justice warriors in that class?
Not stereotypical, but I think, like, they're certainly in training, you know. They look like they're on their way.
They thought they were
Some, well, not in my group, because I have sophomores, you know, but, you know, they already are kind
so
of...
daddy don't want them.
No, but they're
I
not,
know that.
they're not fanatical, you know, at this point. I guess, like, you could, like, rev them up to that. If you
That's your job, bro, as the social justice warrior. Yeah. Oh, but they don't have warrior in the curriculum.
Yeah.
They dropped that part out.
Whenever I'm talking about, like...
Give them all swords at the end.
When I'm talking about, like, social justice-y people and, like, the meetings and stuff, and I talk about, like... I guess what I'm trying to say is, like... I don't know, social justice, like... People who are socially justice-minded or what, but I always want to say social justice warrior. It's like, as a social justice warrior, social justice person.
Enforcer.
Like, enforcer, yeah, or, like... activist or advocate. Like, they have me doing the activism unit now. It's like, I like the activism unit.
What is that?
Do you guys have like a cargo van?
It's like I'm teaching them the techniques of, like, activism and how, like, people bring about social change. And yeah,
you teach them how to retweet.
We were talking about social media. I told them about the Arab Spring, you know, and what was cool about the Arab Spring is, like, it happens by social media. It's a complete revolution, and then it's like the image of a revolution, which covers, like, the aftermath of the revolution, which deals with, like, you know, how revolutions usually play out, which isn't always, like, smoothly. It's never just like, oh yeah, like, the good guys assumed power now. It's usually like, you know, things get fractured and splinter groups show up as people try and drive for the very top, like, rulership position. And then all kinds of crazy shit happens. It's a period of, like, instability and vulnerability for governments and people following the revolution, which I feel like it's important they see that, because in a lot of the social justice, like, language, it's like, revolution doesn't stop, and, like, like pro-revolution, you know, right. Which is all, like, well and good, but it does not, like, show. It's just like war, you know. It's like people want to, like, war, but then it's like, real war is, like, hideous, you know. Revolution is basically war, you know, just an internal kind of war, you know. And so I think that people need to, like, calm down with the, like, use of revolution in their, like, marketing materials. Yeah. You know, it's just like, which is basically what it is.
Yeah, revolution is too abrupt.
Yeah, and it's just like, I don't know, because either you're changing the meaning of the word revolution.
Yeah.
Or you're, like, downplaying the significance of, like, a revolutionary event.
The revolution will not be monetized.
But, so that class, yeah, sorry to go on that tangent there, but...
Yeah, well, that's interesting. I like hearing about your school experience.
Yeah, it is. It's a weird social experiment.
Yeah.
It's freaky.
Yeah, that's a lot to digest with so many kids.
It is. It's weird. And there are some really, like, cool moments, you know?
Yeah.
And good, like, opportunities. But, you know, for reasons of my own, like, deficiency, like, I can't, like, bring it all the time to, like, push it to, like, the coolest level.
Do you think that students can realize you're phoning it in?
Yeah, I think so. I think that, you know, very quickly. I don't know if that's true, but that's something that, like, I've heard people, like, echo, like, different staff members who've been there in the past have, like, echoed these sentiments.
So you're phoning it in?
They say that the kids will pick up really quickly on the fact that you're bullshitting them, you know, when it comes to, like, your passion and your conviction to them and to the program and to the material and whatever. And I feel like that's, like, an example of, like, a good lie. Like, I don't know if it's true, but I know that believing and acting it like it's true is the best thing a person could do, I think.
But what are you doing that in regards to?
Just, like, my commitment to being authentic, and it's not just about being authentic, because you could be authentically bad if you're bad, but like being like showing them that you're giving them a good effort, you know, like
Hey, I'm trying here.
yeah, exactly. You know, like I'm here for you guys, you know, and it's like you can, I guess that, yeah, it's a kind of affection thing, you know, it's like, wow, this person really put in work to like give us this.
But you're not doing that.
I could do better. I have my moments. Obviously, like with the kids that I like more, it's easier to do,
Okay.
you know, and it's also about trust too, you know, because it's like, I can't like go crazy. I don't want to do something adventurous if I don't trust the group, you know,
Yeah.
because then it's like there's a higher probability of failure. So I try it because then it's like those things can be derailed easily, you know, because especially if kids don't understand the directions or don't have the maturity to like pause and reflect on like what I'm telling them, or if they're completely disconnected entirely, which are all like regular scenarios that happen in certain groups, you know. And it's like there's like in my really like sharp group, I have like 6 kids, and it's like one of the kids is kind of like blowing out. Like it's a long assignment that I have them doing that's like really pushing their skill. It's like a very challenging assignment that takes a long time, an incredible amount of focus, and a lot of hard work.
Okay.
You
He's
can't-
giving up.
You can't just blow through it, you know.
He's giving up.
He's giving up, yeah. And then he's just like, and I could see that he's like, and he's a good kid, but I could see him like pulling things down slightly.
Yeah.
But because like there are such good artists in the class, it's just like he can't like destroy that integrity, you know. I don't think he's doing it intentionally, but just, you know, when you're going down, you tend to pull people with you, you know. But the integrity of the culture is so high that it's like it's not really damaging anything. And like that's like a rare exception, to have the integrity be like the strongest element in the class. Usually it's like some form of chaos that's the strongest element in the class. All right, I promise I'm going to shut up about it all right now. That's it. I'm done.
No, it's so interesting. I like hearing it. Have you heard it from Zeus Crackus?
I have not heard from Zeus.
Should we go now?
I'm good.
Sounds good to me. Sorry, I talked about that for so long.
That's what talking was for. I'm gonna try to use that.